might start from launch of the project, then land acquisition of the project, then having approval from the government authority to start the project, then having NOCs from environmental departments, forest departments would be one such WBS. Then doing design and drawings of these buildings would be one such work breakdown structure. Then proceeding with execution, I'll create one WBS, naming it as execution of the building. Then other one would be say construction of clubhouse, construction of gym. So I'll be dividing entire project into several parts and I'll call it as work breakdown structure. So it would be easy for me to track the project progress in parts rather than in one complete block. So I'll create a project structure in the system. I'll show you on the system. You'll have better idea.
Okay.
So at first we create project structure, a project hierarchy with the help of WBS elements. And then we do project planning. As in date planning. Once I have created all the WBSs, I'll decide what would be my start date of this WBS. Say land acquisition is the WBS which I have. So what would be my planned start date of this WBS? Say it is 1st January 2023 is my planned start and my plan finishes 28th Feb 2020. So I'll do date planning in the system for all the WBSs and activities. So this is what I call date planning. So my actuals could differ from what I have planned at the initial stages. So as I said, first Jan and 28th Feb is my plan start and plan finish. My actual could be based on the real time progress of this WBS. It would start late at 15th Jan and finish in March 15th. So that would be my actual start and actual finish of this WBS. This is what we call date planning. So these dates would be tracked on Gantt and PERT charts. I'll show you what are those while we move on to the system. Next is planning of materials required for the project. So we'll be needing n number of materials to construct this real estate project. Right? So we'll be doing procurement. For that, we have a separate module, materials management. So they'll be looking after all procurement, but of course that would be integrated with PS module to consume the budget and order the things, issue purchase orders, issue PRs and all. So MM would be integrated with PS for procurement of materials that would go for construction. Next is planning of milestones. Say there are certain milestones. It is a long duration project of 3 years, so you have certain milestones in the project. Say by every 3 months, I have to complete slab of two floors or three floors. It is a 50 floor building. Okay, so your milestones would be set in the system, and once you will confirm. So as I told you that while date planning, we'll do plan start and plan finish. So once we'll do input in the system, this actual start and actual finish, your milestones would be triggered based on that. There is one WBS, construction of second floor slab, which is also your milestone. So once you'll confirm that this WBS has been completed, your milestone would be automatically completed. Right.
So you mark certain WBSs as milestone relevant, or is there a special way to say something is a
Yeah,
milestone?
yeah. So while we create a WBS, we also create milestones. So
Okay.
certain WBS would have specific milestones. Construction of second floor will have one milestone.
Mm.
Construction of fourth floor, sixth floor, likewise, based on your or client's requirement,
Mm.
milestones can be created for specific WBS, not at every stage because every minute WBS cannot be a milestone. It
Mhm.
can be, but practically looking at a larger perspective of the scope, we decide based on 3 months basis what is my target and how late we are running for that or how early we are completing that
Mm.
would
Mm.
be tracked in the system through milestones.
Okay.
Next would be cost planning. So before starting the project, you have to do cost planning that how much capital of yours would be required to construct the project. That would be your fixed cost. So say I have proposed to the management that 100 crores would be required for execution of this project. So I'll send my cost planning proposal to the management, and based on their experience and their evaluation of the cost plan that you have submitted, detailed cost plan, they'll arrive at some figure of their own. Having they might have certain different rates of materials or resources or scope of work. Based on
Mm,
that, they will check your cost plan and they'll approve the budget based on that. So
mm,
say they have approved budget of 95 crores.
mhm,
So that budget would be allocated to you for executing the project. So 95 crores would not be given to you all at once. So if you
mm,
are doing annual budgeting, there
mm,
are two types of budgeting. Say there is one overall budgeting and there is
mm,
annual budgeting. So in overall budgeting, the management would be giving you 95 crores all at once, and you have to use that across the entire project life. And
mhm,
there is this annual budgeting as well, wherein they'll give you 30, 30, 35 crores in parts as and when required, and you have to do budgeting in that way,
mm,
in the annual way. So
mm.
that the call of the client, whether they want annual budgeting or overall budgeting.
Or
We'll see that
there
in a second.
be milestone based budgeting too, like when they release funds when a milestone is reached.
Yeah, no, no.
Oh,
Either we can do overall budgeting or annual budgeting only. So
okay, not.
say the point that you were saying was, say your milestone is set at the first year of the project. So
Mm,
once that milestone is completed, then only your budget will be infused for the second year. That can be done, but do not have this option in budgeting that the option that you have is overall budgeting or annual budgeting. You do not have milestone budgeting for this.
like in construction projects, at least as a buyer, you pay when the first floor slab is done, then progress based, right? So,
That is milestone billing.
oh, billing.
That
Okay,
is that is revenue that you are talking about,
okay, okay,
right?
okay,
We
got
are
it.
talking about budgeting,
Mm-hmm. Got it, got it.
the capital that would go for construction of the project, not sales of the project.
No sales. Okay, got it.
Next step would be project execution, wherein your budget is approved, right? And you have distributed this budget across all the WBSs. Once that is done, you will release the budget on all the WBS, and you will ask the team to start procurement and also the FI team to book their documents on the WBS. So say there's one WBS that has gone as construction of clubhouse. So team wants to procure cement for construction of clubhouse, right? So they'll create one PR, purchase requisition. They'll create purchase orders. So they want to order 1 lakh rupees of cement. So they'll be consuming your budget on this WBS. Say that your budget is 50 lakhs on this for ordering cement for the clubhouse construction. So as and when required, whenever team wants to procure cement for clubhouse, they'll be using that particular WBS for consuming the budget. Project purchase will be initiated by team. Then once they have issued the purchase order to the vendors for the cement, once that is delivered on the site, they'll issue goods receipt for cement that they have procured. That the cement is received on site. It is part of their activity, a generation of purchase requisition, purchase orders, and goods receipt. So
Mm,
once goods are received on site, those will be issued to the contractor for the use. Then invoicing will be done, and then payment to the vendor will be done. That is the part of FI team and team clear this vendor's payment. Okay.
mm-hmm.
So the budget that will be consumed would be from WBS. So this is how and FI team are integrated with PS for consumption of budget. And
Mm-hmm.
what PS team would be monitoring would be the progress of construction of clubhouse and the money that has been gone into it till date with
Mm-hmm.
respect to budget versus actual. Actual is whatever procurement that they have done till date against 50 lakhs. Network confirmations is we'll be confirming whether this activity is completed or not in the system, giving finish date as the input. I'll show you this thing in the system. Next is project monitoring. We monitor project as I told you in two ways. First is physical progress, another is financial progress. progress. So schedule monitoring is your physical progress with respect to dates, that is planned start, planned finish, and actual start, actual finish of all the WBS. We
Mm.
have Gantt and PERT charts to read the physical progress. We'll come to that as well in the details. Then next is cost monitoring. Cost monitoring would be your budget versus actual on all the WBS. So below is the flow chart, as we discussed this in the top of this slide, that first we create project, then we do project planning, then we do budgeting and we release the budget, then we start executing the project, that is project implementation, and last stage is project complete. This is also a similar way of showing project life cycle. We saw project process flow. Now you'll see project life cycle.
Mhm.
So at the first stage, we create project structure. As I told you, we create WBSs and networks. Then we do conceptualization of the project. Conceptualization as in to what level you want to break down your project.
Mm.
There are certain level people generally go down to sixth and seventh level of the WBS for creating a project structure. We do that conceptualization, followed by we do rough planning, rough cost planning, as in how much money would be required to construct the project. Then we do detailed cost planning, which we submit to the management for approval, approval of budget, right? So once we have received budget from the management, we release this budget for MM team, PM team, and FI team to consume it. If you can see that in the fifth column, we release this budget for these teams
Mm.
work to start. Then they start issuing purchase orders, they start commitment to the vendors for procurement. Then once they have completed these construction activities, we do confirmation in the project system